Okay, now we are on to structs. So I hope you have read until you have gone through the struct chapter until now, because now we are at structs, arrays, and functions, a menu-driven program. So I want to kind of show you a whole program of how you can use a menu-driven program, write menus, include functions, and use structs and things like that. So this is a video list program. You can add a video, print the video list, search the video list, and quit. So there's a menu that you can use. Okay. Again, I'm going to take this program and I've ported it into Visual Studio. There's no file involved. I'll show you how to do it in Visual Studio, and then there is also the program that you can run here, but it's easier to run in Visual Studio, especially when we are trying to get interactive menu-driven program written. So here's Visual Studio. I'm going to switch over. I have the same program written here. So by now you know how structs work, right? So we don't have to have multiple parallel arrays. It helps us group data together, data of different data types. So no reading from files in this case, but I have a struct. It's called video. It has a title and the year of the video. That's all I have. You can have more data in there if you want to. I also have a constant for my array. I'm going to have an array of these videos. So I have a capacity. I have a constant cap called hundreds. So my array will be created to hold 100 videos. Okay, doesn't have to hold 100 of them, but the maximum capacity of the array will be 100. I have a few functions. Because it's a menu-driven program, I have functions like display menu. Its job is to just output the menu. Okay. Then I have read option. Once the menu is displayed, the user will want to enter something, right? So you read that using read option, and doesn't take any parameters, but it returns a char. So the option that we read is read into a char variable, and I return that. And then I have things like the menu says, as you saw here in Zybooks, the menu has, there's a menu here up on the top. The menu says add a video, print, and search. So I have functions for all of them. So add video, adds a video to the list. So I pass the array and the count to it. The count is passed by reference. The array is also passed by reference. Remember, the array is anyway passed by reference by default. So in the function, I ask the user to enter all the information for a video, and I'll add it to the array. And the count is passed by reference because I need to know the count of the video, how many videos are getting added. So if a video gets added, then the count changes, right? Initially, if there's nothing in my list and we add a video, the count is at 1. Then the count goes to 2. So the count needs to come back by reference. So I can take that count and send it to my other functions and say, hey, now the array has 10 videos. So here you go, print it for me or search through the list for me. Okay. So all the functions take the array and the count or its size. The add video takes it by reference because it changes. The print and the search do not take it by reference because it doesn't change, right? It just uses the count. Okay, so then here is our main. I declare my array of videos and I create a single video. Okay. I also create a char variable called option. I have a count, which helps me count the number of videos. I use a do-while loop. A do-while loop is very handy for a menu-driven program because you want the menu to be displayed at least one time. So do display the menu, read the option. Read option returns a char. So I have a char here. Whatever comes back goes into this variable. Then I switch it. A switch is great for doing this stuff, menu-driven programs. If it's an integer, you can still use a switch. So switch the option. If it is A, ideally I should do this. Switch, I should do to lower, because if the user enters uppercase, it should still work, right? So do to lower of option. That means whatever they enter, if it is uppercase, will get converted to lowercase. If it is lowercase, it won't do anything. If it is A, and lowercase because I'm comparing lowercase a, you call add video, and I'm going to send this list that I created and the count. Okay. Break. If it is P, again, I send the list and the count, and I break. To search, again, I send the list and the count. So whenever you have arrays, you always send the array and the size that goes with it. So That's all you need, and then anything else. But in this case, I'm doing everything inside the function. So search by title comes back. So search by title is a function. If you go up here and look at my prototype, it returns a video. All the others are void functions. Search by title, though, returns a video. This is to show you that you can return a struct object. You cannot return arrays, but you can return a struct object. So this is one struct that's coming back. One struct object, I should say. And I print that here. I print its title and I print its year. So search, if search comes back with something, then I do that. Then I break. If it is Q, we just break. If it is anything other than this, then I say invalid option. And we do this do while loop, while option not equal to Q, right? As long as option is not equal to Q, we want it to keep repeating the menu. This is very important for a menu-driven program. It shouldn't just bring up the menu one time and it should be done. That's not a menu-driven program, right? You want it to keep asking the user until they enter Q. So do all this stuff over and over until option is equal to Q. Okay. So display simply outputs a whole bunch of lines. That's all it is. It says these are the options. Then read option says, please pick an option. What do you want to do? And I read that. That's a char here. It's the same name. It doesn't matter. I can call it the same name. Then I return it. I return it back to main. Okay. So then we go on to the add video function. The add video function, remember, takes the array and the count by reference. I tell the user, enter the title of the movie. I enter it, list, square bracket, count. So if count is coming in as 0, then list of 0.title. I use getLine because we could enter name of movies with spaces, right? And again, list of count. Count is still 0. We're still in the first item. And then you increment count. Count is in by reference. So when we add a video, we've gone back here. Count comes back by reference. Now we have added one video. So count is at 1. So the next time it brings up the menu again. If I say add a video, count is going to get incremented to 2 here. And so that's kind of how count works, right? Okay, so after I've added a few videos, if I say I want to print, then I pass the array and the count to it. And I simply go through a for list and I print it. That's all there is here. Now the search is a little different. Obviously, we want to search in the array. So I have a string called search title. Then I have a video called empty video. Empty video initially has nothing in it. Okay, and the reason I have that is because if the search doesn't bring up a video, then I need something to return. That's why. Enter a title to search for. I read the title into search title. Then I'm going to compare. I'm going to first go through a for loop. Then I compare the title in the array, every title in the array with the search title. And we're doing this a little different. Notice list of I. So when I is 0, we're comparing that first title. Dot find of search title. Now you can use the equals equals, but if you use the equals equals, you're going to get an exact match. This helps us find a title with partial strings in it. So what this says is dot find of search title. So you're looking for the search title in this title. If it is not equal to npos, this is a number that you're going to get if this comparison does not find anything at all. Okay, so this essentially returns a very large number like this thing says here. If it does that, that means we didn't find anything. If it is not equal to that, that means if it finds a valid position, let's say your string is about 15 characters long, and it finds this title, part of it starting at position 4 or 5. So then this is going to be false, and it's going to say, oh, this is, or I should say this is, the whole thing is going to be true, and it's going to return that particular title that it found. If it goes through the whole list and doesn't find anything at all, then we're going to return that empty video that it prints. Okay, now this is not the only way to do it. Perhaps there's a better way to do that for you to say something else if it doesn't find a video. But this was my quick way of saying, well, I didn't find anything, so I'm going to return an empty video. Okay, so take a look at this a little bit more. This is a little different, but I believe it's there in your Zybooks. So that's all we're doing here. We are just essentially creating an array of videos using a menu-driven program, right? So let's build it and run it and add a few videos to it. Okay, so I'm going to say add a video. How about I like Lion King? I don't know, 1994. Okay, and let's say add a video. Let's add one more. Let's add with 2 words, something like that. How about 2018? Okay, now print. Then it prints my list. It could be nice if it would be nice if I had some spacing in between them. I don't have that. Let's do search, and let's just search for king. So see, it brings up Lion King. So I don't have to have an exact word. That's what the dot find does, and that's nice, rather than having to type the whole thing. So if you type in feet, it returns no title, empty video. Okay. What if I type in something that doesn't list? That's not the same, that's the option that's not listed here. Then I get invalid option. So it should be able to do some of those things. And then I can quit. Doesn't save anything because I don't save it on a file or anything like that. It's gone. Ideally, we should store it in a file, which is what we see in the next few videos after this. Or you've seen that with arrays and file input output, right? So a quick menu-driven program that shows you how to read into an array of structs.